their listings, and with very little marketing, they grew from a $0 revenue to $150,000 per month in just 9 months, because they had warm leads that were coming into Amazon, that were searching for them, that were looking for them.
Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kieran Therikin, and welcome to another edition of the Merchant Mastery Podcast. Today, we have Jeff Bekovac and Marty Borotzik from SwiftStart, and they're going to tell us all about how to use Amazon as another channel to get your products to market. So welcome to the show, Marty and Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, Kieran.
Thank you very much.
Now, Jeff, where are you located? You're in Sherwood Park, aren't you? Alberta.
Yeah, I'm originally from Sherwood Park. Live in Edmonton now, so right here with Socialite as well.
Okay, really good. And Marty, you're calling in from Calgary, are you?
Yeah, just 2.5 hours south of you. That's right.
Okay, really good. And that's, well, it depends how fast you drive, right? To that 2.5 hours. I've been known
hour and a half.
2.5 hours for sure, right? The cop's hot on my heels. So again, welcome to the show. SwiftStart, tell me just a quick background of SwiftStart. You've got a presentation for us as well. Tell us how you started and what you two guys do there.
For sure, yeah, no, and SwiftStart's been around for a couple of years now. Our base is here in Edmonton. We're about 70 employees globally, and that's spread across our office here in Edmonton. We have a small one down in Los Angeles, as well as our remote offices in Pakistan as well as in China. So we got our start years ago. We combined experience of probably about 15, probably 20 years of Amazon experience of initially partnering with other brands and helping them sell, but we also launch our own brand internally and sell those brands as well too. So we've been in the Amazon sphere for a while, learning all the tricks of the trade, the ins and outs of, and growing with Amazon. And we've really seen a huge increase on Amazon being a core part of a lot of brand strategy here in the last few years, and just how they've increased their global logistics, and obviously the increase in shift since COVID from consumers to online.
We've definitely seen the ability to be able to hold people's hands through the whole process of Amazon and increase their revenue. Like Jeff said, we have about 20 years of Amazon experience, so we've grown multiple brands. So we help others grow their brand on Amazon too.
Okay, so you have a presentation for us, and so tell me, intro the presentation, and let's get right into it.
Perfect.
You bet. Let me. There you go. 10
reasons why your brand needs to be on Amazon.
10 reasons, and this is super exciting, you guys. Amazon is one of the biggest, probably the biggest marketplace right now. It's growing exponentially. This is like 10 actionable reasons you can jump in right now to essentially increase your revenue and brand awareness, and also your loyal fans for your customers. So we want you guys to take away ultimately that just to get on Amazon at the end of this call. So let's jump into it. Now, we already got introduction by our great host, Kieran. I'm Jeff. I'm the one chatting right now. Hopefully I look similar to my photo. The other guy with the smile here is Marty. He's our VP of Ops, and he's down there in Calgary. I'm up here in Edmonton. So we're going to be with you on the call today. So let's jump into reason one here, Marty.
Yeah, and you already alluded to it a little bit, Kieran. But we're in the midst of a global pandemic. Hopefully soon to be coming out of it. But with that global pandemic, we have seen a massive shift in buying behavior. We've seen increase of online sales between 16 and 19%, depending on what country you're in. Worldwide, that accounts for 26 trillion of new online sales. So what the estimate is about that 6 years of growth we've seen over the last 18 months, just in online behavior. And because more people are coming online, less people are buying in stores. So we've seen a decrease of foot traffic into stores by about 20%. This is a huge change. And as Jeff alluded to, the customer base on Amazon is about 120 million people in the US. About a third of the US uses Amazon. So not only are more people buying online, but they're looking for brands like everybody who signs up for Merchant Mastery. They're looking for them, but then they also jump over to Amazon, they type in the brand name and they're looking for it on Amazon too. So whether if you're on there or not, you're getting people looking for you there. But more people are coming online to buy.
And I'm pretty confident that this consumer buying shift, the consumer behavior shift is permanent.
I agree.
It's not.
These companies are.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, they're training me to look for that convenience, look for everything from the delivery to the selection to the ability to customize, all that kind of stuff, and Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in the room.
It really is.
I would go one step further and say that Amazon is actually even training the consumer that not only is online easy, but you should be able to click a button and buy it, and it should be at your doorstep the next day, and shipping should be free. So they're not really doing any favors to the Shopify sellers in the fact that the consumer now expects free delivery and they now expect it next day. So that's the customer behavior training that Amazon's done.
Yeah, and I suppose, instead of fighting it, you might want to befriend it, that shift in behavior. Okay,
Yep.
Really good.
Great.
So with that change in behavior, Amazon has also made the entry point for sellers to be very low. Much like on Shopify, it's a monthly fee. It's $39.99, so $40 a month you pay to have a Seller Central account. And on top of that, Amazon just takes what they call a referral fee. We call the Amazon fee. It's generally 15% depending on what category you're in. And that means if you're selling a $100 product, they're keeping $15 in their pockets. So for all intents and purposes, it's a very low bar of entry to get onto Amazon.
Right. Now, opening up another store site anywhere, whether on Amazon or any other platform, Etsy, it takes effort, it takes resources, it takes money. Where do you think the sales need to be? Now, if you're an existing Shopify store owner, where do sales need to be in order to justify opening up another channel?
I don't think there's a definitive watermark for where it needs to be. I think it's more about how known your brand is how successful you'll be on Amazon right off the bat. If you are a well-known brand and you're coming onto Amazon, there are people that are going to be searching for you, and we'll talk about that a little later, and looking for you there. If you're not a known brand, you definitely need to have a marketing budget so that you can work with some Amazon PPC to make sure that people are finding you directly through the keyword search.
Yeah, and PPC meaning pay per click, right? So, okay.
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Really good.
Keyword pay per click.
Yeah, and in my efforts on Amazon, just looking around there, it seems to be a very straightforward process to use their built-in tools to generate that brand awareness.
For sure.
Yeah, there's no other apps, there's no other tools that you need with it. I know on Shopify you have to pay a little more for your upsell app, you have to pay a little more for your to collect email marketing, but it's $39.99 and that's your full meal deal suite right there for you, everything you need.
Okay, really good. Reason 3.
Yeah, so we've talked about the low cost of entry, but now we're going to talk about the low cost of acquiring new customers. So in general, Amazon has one of the lowest costs to acquire customers, and a lot of that comes down to just the type of marketing that it plays off of. Kieran, I know with Socialite, you guys deal a lot in the Shopify space. You're dealing a lot with Facebook, likely, Google. Now, Facebook is what we like to call interruption marketing. You're interrupting, people on their off time. They're browsing the web, and you're trying to educate the consumer of the brand, and then drop them into some sort of funnel to then they eventually will purchase either now or later. Intent marketing, where it's Google, someone's actually searching for the brand, whether they're looking to buy or not. May not know right in the beginning, but at least they're looking for your brand or a similar product to be educated on or to purchase. Now, what I like to call high intent marketing is Amazon. Amazon, people are much like Google. It's a massive search database with its own search algorithm, but people actually have their credit cards loaded. They have their shipping address saved, and they're on there looking to purchase a product right away. Now, whether it's yours or someone else's, it really comes down to how well you're able to market your brand and just get it in front of customers' eyes. And this leads to basically the least touch points between purchase, and thus it's generally the least cost associated to getting a customer to buy.
Yeah, I like your little graphic to the side there, and there's, that's basically the funnel, right? You got top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and Google and Amazon are definitely the bottom part of the funnel, super high intent customers, they're looking to buy, and normally that's very expensive. But it's a real estate as well to occupy. Do you find that Amazon, like Google advertising, because it's bottom of funnel, super high intent, is very expensive, to get that pay-per-click going? Do you find the Amazon pay-per-click to drive traffic back to the Amazon, what do you call it? The store site? Would you call that the store site?
Yep, storefront, listings, you can call it. And you're right. It's funny. It's funny to know the difference. Actually, a fun little stat here is in the Los Angeles area, if you're an injury lawyer, it's $500 just for a cost of click on that keyword. So,
on
if
Google,
you're looking
on
to
Google.
get back on Google,
you're talking about on Google though, right?
On Google, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get back on an injury lawyer, just, that's one way to do it, I guess. Amazon's actually almost a bit of the polar opposite. So Google saw almost the highest year-over-year increase in ad spend. It's almost 200%. Facebook's hovering around 100%. Amazon's one of the lowest ones at around 95% actually, for the year-over-year cost of ads. So it's high intent, and it's got a lot lower cost and a lot lower competition actually for that ad.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, so you're right where the customers are. Okay, reason 4.
All right, so now we talked about the low cost of acquiring customers. We've also talked about the low cost of getting onto Amazon. The next one is growing your brand reputation and awareness. So really simply put, it's a bold statement, but Amazon's likely more trusted than your brand. Almost 90% of consumers say they will check on Amazon before they actually end up purchasing a product. And whether or not they actually purchase that product on Amazon doesn't necessarily matter. What you're really doing is you're growing your brand's awareness, and you're growing its reputation and its trust. If someone sees your brands on Amazon, they likely know that it's trusted enough to be on Amazon, that they can buy it on Amazon, and their money's not going to be stolen, and it's going to arrive 2 days later. And if they don't like it, they're protected by Amazon by returning it almost immediately as soon as they get it. If they're buying from your independent Shopify store, they don't know that. It's possible, a transaction could go awry. They may never get their product. And so having your brand across multiple channels, just like having your brand on multiple social channels, increases its awareness and increases its reputation and trust with consumers. And
now, obviously, we're very pro Shopify, right? To get your store up and running. So we would always view this at Merchant Mastery and Socialite as a complementary channel. But what we're talking about specifically here is first purchase, trial purchase, and to be able to use the trust that Amazon has built with their customer base and transfer that trust to your currently unknown brand, and then be able to bring them into the Shopify ecosystem, right? And to continually, and then develop it over there. So, we could see that as a very effective strategy for Shopify merchants to acquire new customers, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say
I'll go one step further from what you're I'll go one step further. What you're saying, Kieran, is that one of the things that we really concentrate on with our clients is being easily to transport those clients from Amazon over to your Shopify store. So we have processes that we've done that are tried, tested, and true, where that it's Amazon likes owning the customer. They don't want them to leave their marketplace, but we have ways where we can transfer them over. We want you to own them as the Shopify, the brand owner. We want them in your email. We want them in your flows, in your whatever it is. We want them over there because there's a better LTV for you as a seller on Shopify than there is Amazon. So we like transferring that over to you as a Shopify seller.
Okay, really good. Reason 5.
This goes hand in hand with reason 4, and the best way to kind of make an example of this is the case study we have on here. But revenue cures all. So just like we're talking about, people are looking for your brand elsewhere and coming onto Amazon. Just by listing on Amazon with very little marketing budget, people are finding your brand, people are looking for you, they find your listings and they purchase your product on Amazon. It is that, like you said, the first entry point channel for sellers. So we had one client that was a well-known swimwear brand. They almost had no presence on Amazon other than a couple of wholesale clients that were selling their products. They decided to dive headfirst into Amazon, do all their listings, and with very little marketing, they grew from a $0 revenue to $150,000 per month in just 9 months because they had warm leads that were coming into Amazon that were searching for them, that were looking for them and purchasing there. So it just by, like you said, just by opening it up, we call it halo traffic, just people that are looking for you coming on. It's a brand new revenue stream. It's found money in your couch cushions that you never knew you had.
Okay, very good. Yeah, this is probably the start of some kind of omni-channel marketing, right? Effort, right? You know,
Exactly.
The easiest step into an omni-channel strategy. Okay, I think we're at reason 6.
Exactly. So we talk about increased revenue, the low cost to acquire customers, and the low cost to get on Amazon now. Now, one of the biggest advantages is actually harnessing the power of Amazon's logistics. With over 185 global fulfillment centers, they deliver up to 2.5 billion packages in 2021, actually. And so they are by far the most robust and global supply chain in the world. And the great thing about Amazon is even if you don't jump on Amazon, you can still actually leverage them as a 3PL service through their multi-channel fulfillment. And generally, you'll likely get lower cost to fulfill to your Shopify customer base. So a Shopify customer could send all their products to Amazon and to fulfill all their Shopify customers through Amazon's fulfillment channel, even if they didn't want to sell on Amazon. That's very, very powerful, and it's actually a lot more cost effective than actually using a straight courier account such as FedEx or Purolator. Now, a great case study we have is one of the largest actually manufacturers of American cowboy hats, and they're based in California. Most of their customer base is on the East Coast, and being in Alberta, I think we all know what cowboy hats are like. They're large, they can be kind of heavy, and even just a simple little dent will ruin the hat entirely. And so their costs for fulfillment were quite expensive. They, with the help of us, moved all of their fulfillment over to Amazon, use their multi-channel fulfillment, and they started delivering their Shopify orders through Amazon system and actually reduced their fulfillment costs by about 15% by doing this. So very powerful stuff.
I think, a lot of merchants, when they first start, they don't realize how important logistics are, especially, after they hit their first $100,000 month or their $200,000 month. And now they better be staffing that, resourcing that, and, making sure that it's still, because that is as much a part of the purchase experience as anything else. It's perhaps even bigger than the product. That people have already bought into the product, but they haven't necessarily received the product yet. So to use this Amazon's logistics center to fulfill the actual delivery and timetables, all that kind of stuff, that is probably a big leg up for most merchants when they first start.
One thing I want to add to that, Kieran, and I fully agree with that, is, well, if you have a poor logistics system, it can make or break your company when you start getting to the high numbers. But one thing I want to add was really interesting during the pandemic is if you're on Amazon, actually, Amazon had was kind of paying off the ports, and I think they still are. So if you're on Amazon, your products are actually getting through infinitely quicker from overseas than they are if you're not on there. So for people who even want to just use that multi-channel fulfillment, they're actually going to get their products a lot sooner, and they're not going to get their products hung up at the port and having to be waiting for month delays to get their products in. So,
okay. Reason 7.
Yeah, I'll go. I just want to make one other quick comment about logistics too. I know people are very protective of their brand and they don't want their product coming in an Amazon box, which is totally understandable. For a couple pennies more, Amazon has a brown box service too. So they'll send your product in just a brown box rather than an Amazon package. So it's a neat thing, but it's a little bit brand protection for you using multi-channel fulfillment.
Yeah.
Okay, so going further with it and growing your business. Now you're on Amazon. Now you've got logistics going. Now you're protecting your brand. Now you want to grow. So cash flow is always an issue. I don't care how big your brand is or what you're doing. Cash flow is always something that you have to pay attention to. Amazon actually has business funding available through their marketplace. So after they take a look at you for, I think it's 9 months on the marketplace, they could potentially offer you business lending at a very competitive rate. So we had one case study here where a company that does journals, they did about $400,000 in 2020 and then took out a $80,000 loan from Amazon. And in the next year, that $80,000 helped them grow to $3 million in revenue the following year. So, and then, you know, you pay back through your payments to Amazon at a very competitive rate. So it's something that I know I've had a couple clients that really were able to dig into and really take advantage of, is the fact that Amazon will just let you borrow money from them at a really competitive rate.
Yeah, I didn't know this. You know, of course, we have a pretty tight relationship with Shopify, their capital funding services, Clearco and such. I did not know Amazon did this. So that's a very, very handy thing for anybody selling.
Yeah.
Sure.
RBI Reason 8. There we go.
All right.
You bet.
Great. So one of the great reasons about Amazon that we love is be able to launch, engage new products with confidence. And so whenever you're a brand, you're trying to launch a new product into your catalog, there's always a lot of work that has to be done to see if that product is probably going to service customers and it's actually going to succeed. And the great thing about Amazon is you have access to so much data about what other people are doing. So if they're selling a similar product in that space, you have how many sales they're making, you know, what the customers are saying, what their copy looks like, what their images look like, and you can get a very, very accurate model of how well you think that product is going to do. And the great thing is you can do it as a bit of a soft launch where you launch it on Amazon, see the customer engagement, see your demographic that likes to purchase this type of new product, and then you can do that hard launch on Shopify where you can really amplify your brand message to that product. And that's what we did for a brand called Foamin. They launched at the height of pandemic. They basically make hand soap sheets. And using all that data, we were able to know exactly where that brand was able to launch in for Foamin. And with that, they jumped to the #1 spot in like basically the hand soap category within 4 months because they're able to see that data and see what kind of niche could be exploited.
Yeah. What a terrific way to do a soft launch. To really get to know that avatar that you are targeting, right? That is that's impressive. Reason.
They also get brand analytics too, Kieran, where you know who's buying your product, if it's a man or woman, or educated or not educated, or income. So they do provide that kind of data for you too on your purchasing customers.
Yeah, that's a terrific set of insights. Okay, reason 9.
Yeah. Great. Next is globalizing your brand. So, you know, I know a lot of brands, when they're just on Shopify, it's a big thing even just to go over to a new market, whether that be from Canada or into the States, and maybe possibly setting up entirely new Shopify store for that. With Amazon globalizing your brand, it's pretty quick. It's just a few clicks. You can also be selling in, you know, Europe. You can be selling in Asia Pacific area. There's over 13 marketplaces with over 885 fulfillment centers globally. And so with just, like I said, with just a few clicks, you can be serving a global population really, which is super powerful, especially when you start talking about Amazon's logistics and going through it. So one great example here is, again, a brand that we helped build was House of Party. Again, they launched in 2020. This is a brand new brand, and they're basically a lower cost alternative to party supplies, the balloons and garlands, and coming in a lower cost, but with the same premium kind of materials used. Amazon.com is obviously very competitive. They were able to launch into Germany and the UK and instantly take the #1 spot in those marketplaces, which is still a massive population, just because no one was in those marketplaces at the moment. And now they're building their brand globally, within just a few months after launching. So a huge opportunity to grow your brand.
Okay, reason 10.
You bet. So that's a bunch of good stuff we just talked about. There are also bad things about Amazon. One of the things that is really tricky to do is that if you're not selling your brand on Amazon, somebody else could hop on and sell it for you. That means the control of your brand, the presence that you have there, the message that you're sending is not controlled by you. So being able to come on to Amazon, file your brand registry, have your trademark, and control your brand is one of the most powerful things you can do. And you can create your own images, you do your copy, you do your own advertising. Controlling that brand message that you're portraying on Amazon is one of the most important things you can do. So I was talking about the swimwear company that we worked with before in a previous slide. They weren't on Amazon, but other people were still selling their products there. And they put on one image and a few tiny bullet points, and there was no brand story, and it really perceived terribly on the company. So that's one of the reasons they decided to come on, is that they wanted to control their brand. So it's really I think it's mandatory to be able to control that message on Amazon for your brand.
So Amazon will help you enforce your intellectual property rights.
It will, yeah.
Yeah. And you would just simply flag people that are not licensed to carry your product. Is that okay?
Yeah,
that's very good.
Exactly.
Yeah, and more importantly, if people are selling counterfeit products under your brand name, you can take them off like that. So it's very much controlling your brand and making sure that you are the ones that are selling it and giving the message that you want to. So it's really important. So hey, those are 10 reasons. That makes it sound easy, right? You should be able just to log on and go to Amazon. It's that easy. It's not that easy. There's a lot of things that you need to do on Amazon. So that's where we come in, and Jeff and I talk about there are multiple things to know. It's not just your listings and your brand strategy. There's your PPC and everything. So this is what we do. We manage all that for brands as well and help them out too, Kieran. So yeah, that's why we're here talking about it. We want you to be on Amazon, but if you need help, we know people that can help you.
Okay, really good. Now, how do people get a hold of you two guys? Where do you go? Right there. There you go. Okay.
Right there. Yeah. So swiftstart.com is where you can find us. I'm Marty at SwiftStart. Jeff is Jeff at swiftstart.com. So we're easy to get a hold of. We're here to help. We're not even, trying to get other business. We'll help out people just like you guys do at Merchant Mastery. If there's questions you want to ask, fire me an email. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have about your Amazon presence. That's why we're here.
Okay, terrific. Marty Barotzik, Jeff Bekovac, on behalf of Merchant Mastery, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything.